I'm very fascinated by the conversation of work ethic, hustle, overworking. I'm fascinated by people's ability to not take on accountability. I never feel like my points of view and my thoughts and my hot takes and my passions and my story are right. I've never believed that in my life. I don't think they're right. I think I enjoy sharing them because I enjoy sharing them. I'm a communicator. There's some selfish needs of communicating, I'm sure, but like I share them, but everybody shares them. This thought that, you know, I think one of the biggest things we need to get more thoughtful about is this question, which is, the answer to the question is by conversating with yourself and trying to develop self-awareness and not look for outside validation. When people email me and say, Garyvee, I've been hustling 15 hours a day, I'm like, you getting enough rest? You good? Are you pumped? Like with intention, my intention is to be happy. And so I'm not gonna apologize for enjoying my work. Like, I don't need validation from my work. My work is not my family or my thing. You know, I watch these conversations, I'm fascinated by them. I respect other people's points of view. I just want to make sure that they don't think they're right either. A lot of people that push against hard work, hustle, are people who've already hustled and didn't find fulfillment from it, but maybe somebody else did. In the same way that I haven't had to clarify my points of view. There are plenty of interviews in 2010 where my point of view on Crush It was make $86,000 a year and talk about strawberries. I've been talking about happiness the whole time. I have evolved and have been forced, because I feel like I've been dragged into being a poster child of something that I don't believe in creating clarity. But I think to answer your question directly, I think you have to answer that for yourself. And what I would say is, don't overjudge yourself in every chapter. It's okay to be losing by 14 points at the end of the first quarter of an NBA game. You can win that game. And so if you're like working 15 hours a day for a year because you're starting your videography business, that's probably okay. It does take work to start something. If you've achieved some level of success 3 years in, and you don't want to take it to a $10 million business from a $3 million business because you've fallen in love and you've started a family and you want to go to you want to play wiffle ball outside with your child, that's amazing. There is no right. There's only right for you. More importantly, there is no line in the sand. I'll be very honest with you. I'm unbelievably excited to evolve. There may be a time where I don't want to be as passionate about my work, and there may be some cause or some game, or who the heck knows what I'll get excited about. And so I think to answer your question, it's A, to do it for yourself, B, to know that it's going to ebb and flow. When you're 96 in debt in your basement, you're grinding. When you're not in the same place, you don't have to do the same things. You may still want to. I still want to. I love operating. I was afforded a lot of opportunities besides building VaynerMedia and having a client service business, 1,000 employees, a lot of chaos. I enjoy that. And look, there's a lot of people, I don't post pictures of my family on social media. Lots of people do. I could judge that, I choose not to. I think there's a lot of judgment in the air on this issue right now. And so yeah, I'm trying to do a better job over the last year of clarifying it, because I don't want to be dragged down in the momentum of something I don't believe in, which is, why in the world would I believe in, why would any human being want somebody to burn out and not be happy? But guess what? I would be burnt out and unhappy if I worked 9 to 5. I know unbelievable amounts of unhappiness from people that work 40 hours a week. Who gets to decide? Definitely not me, and definitely not people who are pushing very hard in what they perceive to be my point of view on this issue. I think I've been consistent. I could have been better at clarifying it along the way. I think one of the things that is probably evolving my content is, as I have more attention, I feel a greater responsibility. And so I've become very passionate about creating more context. I think I'm at my best when I have time to talk like this, and I'm not when I'm too excited on stage or in a 1-second clip. You know, I think that I'm becoming more thoughtful because I'm surprised at the sheer level of quick judgments that our society has become comfortable with. I wrote that book in 2008 when people, like, the economy collapsed and this internet thing emerged, and there was a land grab. there was an amazing opportunity if you were a fast mover on those platforms, and those things played out. You know, it's not as easy to build a huge personal brand or a media property on YouTube or podcast or Instagram as it was 5 years ago. It's supply and demand. You know, so I don't feel anything or like it's contextual. Like, yes, I think you should have spent all your money on Manhattan real estate 180 years ago. And that was a good bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also am one of the things that's struck me in the last year that I'm like, oh, wait a minute, these people think they're right. I never think I'm right, ever. I think I'm communicating my observations. I have no interest in telling anybody how to do anything. Really, I don't. I don't have that level of audacity, and I think what I'm watching is much, you know, I'm surprised that some of my friend contemporaries that take different points of view are coming at it with more of a, I'm right, you're wrong. You know? That's been really interesting to me. That's something I want to throw more in the air. It's probably why I'm yapping now and being late.
Yeah. Because
I respect your platform and like just kind of respect your point of view on this. Like, I'm surprised that we've gotten, not surprised, we are in that place. And so I'm gonna do a much better job over the next half decade to say, look, this is how I see it. These are my circumstances. And I think I also am pretty aware of my happiness. And not that everybody has the same chemicals or circumstances, but I would feel remiss not to speak about what I see. I also think that when we start demonizing work ethic, we get into I think we are the byproduct of the last 10 years being so fruitful. You know, a lot of the people that push against me are venture-backed company founders who were able to raise $25 million over 4 years based on their idea by never running a profitable company. So everybody, and not that they're wrong, I just think everybody has different perspectives. So I think we need to get into a healthier, you know, minimalism. I'm sure, I don't know. I assume there's some sort of counter debate to it. And I think, you know, for example, I think I both love work ethic and minimalism. And I think they're, you know, I already know that I'm a kind of enigma and have like some pretty contradictions within me. So I'm hoping that because of that, and that's just the luck of the draw of DNA, and given the platform that I've earned and have been afforded, maybe I can create some better conversations. Because I think it'd be a really good time for all of us in any sector about any debate, red versus white wine, let alone minimalism, anti-minimalism, hustle, it's a really good time to get back to a cordial state of debate. I also know it's contextual. Like, how can't you tell somebody who's not afforded any opportunities that work ethic isn't gonna help them? There's no thing you can pull up that speaks to me saying money is happiness. I wasn't raised in that environment, I know it's not true. I think that people need to try to be self-aware about what makes them happy and doesn't make them happy. Right now, I view social media as a mirror. I think what people are putting out is an incredible indicator of what's inside of them. So right now there's a lot of political anxiety, there's a lot of ideological anxiety, and so what we're seeing is a lot of judgment. You know, I think, you know, the early days, especially when you and I were on it, like there was a lot of Nirvana early users, it was very soft. I think you are seeing a different version of that today, but that is, you know, getting off of social is no different than stop watching CNN or Fox every night or reading the Journal or the Times. We consume as animals. And I think if one feels overwhelmed, they should stop consuming. But I don't put social media consumption in a very different place than the films and music and books that one reads. Like, the collective replies of people's angst is no different than Kurt Cobain's singular angst, other than it's a collective versus a singular. And so I think it's great. And like when people are like, oh, like what are you gonna think about that? I'm like, I don't care about social media. I really don't. I care about humans communicating with each other. I'm fascinated by communication, And I'm fascinated that we now have a collective ability to communicate at a scale that we've never seen before. And I think right now people are focusing on the downside of that, and I think we're forgetting the upside of it. There's so much love and greatness going on every day. I think humans find what they're looking for. If you're signing into Twitter to find a fight, or to find somebody to fight with, or to see some negativity, you're gonna find it. I think if you go to Twitter or Instagram to find happiness and positivity, it's there at scale.